Hi, this is Susan. We're going to make some cowhides. Yippee-ki-yay. I've never done this before. I know nothing about cows except how to moo. When I was a kid, I used to love to moo at the cows when we take trips. I'd pull down the window and moo the cows. Okay, so I've been trying different materials, but the prep for this is most important. Okay, so besides getting your paints, is you want two water containers. You want for your dark paints and for your white paints separate. And you want to make sure all your brushes are very, very clean and stiff bristles. You want big ones and you want small ones, but make sure they're very clean, because I ended up having to repaint. Like, I'm pushing on this one. It's been in water for 20 minutes and it's still, see how dark it is? So you really, really have to have clean ones, because I used something that I had used the night before with red on it, and it ended up making the white to a pink on this hide. So let's get started. I've tried some different materials and I settled on, okay, so I tried this. At first I tried this. This is actually leather. I think it's like lamb or something. It's an old coat that I cut up, and it was like, you could just tear it. It's so brittle. But it would work for this because there's no strain on it. So if you have an old coat that, is Grandma Mimi's coat, you could use it for this. And it'd be fine. Now, I use this costume material that I had left over. It's a polyester. It's got a nap to it. It's like supposed to be maybe faux leather look or something. It looks knit, but it doesn't stretch. So I'm not really sure if I think I made a costume for somebody out of it. And so I had some scraps. So I tried this, but the paint will go through this. It's pretty porous. Okay, so this is what they sell nowadays. That's the faux suede, and it's beautiful, and it's got, I'm not about to use this, but it's got the tie-dye look on it, kind of. It's got different colors. Now, if you had a cow that's these colors, that would be great. You could just cut it out, but since I don't. I took a jacket that I had at cut up from years ago. I got it at a thrift store. And so I'm using that. And this is the ultra-suede. See, it's shiny on one side and has the nap on the other side that looks like leather. Now, you want to find, these do have what's called a nap, and that's when it has a one direction. And as we're daubing on the paint, it can get nappy. It can kind of clump up. See, right in here, it's got clumps, because I didn't pay attention to the nap of it when I was cutting it out. I didn't even think about it, so it popped in my head. So I'm redoing this video to include this. So you want to lay it flat and then feel it, and try to get the grain coming down the direction you're painting. And so the next thing is to make your here's some pictures. So take a screenshot of this, and you can Google some cowhides and look at the shape of them. There's this one as well. Sorry, I got water on it or paint or something. But see the shape? Okay, so let's go over what it looks like. Okay, this is the belly of the cow on each side. This is the front leg, and underneath, right in here, has white. And this is important that you know that most of this is white. These tips usually are white, under here white, and then sometimes down through the middle is a spine of the cow, and it will be white. And then right in here will be some white. So look it over. Don't just jump right in, because you need to look it over and see not only what, like this is a longhorn. I know that because we have a longhorn as a mascot. But see the tips around, how they're white, and see the belly sides, how it's white and white. And so pick out whatever color you're going to do a Jersey cow or, you know, dairy cow or whatever these are, where the white's going to be. Now, oddly, I started two, and, well, let me show you these too. This one's not in there, but this is just strokes of using a, I don't use a black as it is black because it's got blue in it. I put brown into it. So I mix this color and this, a little bit of this brown into the black so that it's not the blue black. So it makes it more, you know, a little brownish, a little dark. And then this is, I'm just using white, and I put just a tiny, tiny dot of brown just to turn it just a tiny off-white. But if you're using colored, like all of these are this tan color, then start out with the white, and then on your, you have to do 3 coats if you don't have white ultra-suede. I don't have any, I don't know, I haven't seen any. But you know, if you go to the thrift store, they used to make like drapes out of the ultra-suede. And if you can find a drape, it'll last you a lifetime. Just one panel will work. But my panel that I found was blue, light blue. So here I am, you know, trying to turn tan into white. So it takes 3 coats to get this to this white looking. And you'll do 2 regular coats, and it helps you to do the first coat to outline it, and I'll show you that. But the second will be kind of filling it in, and the third one will be taking a detail brush, a stiff one, and really defining your line, because the hide isn't a fringy look on the, like the first one I did, not for last. See how the paint's real fringy looking? Just, it's not like that on a cow. So I have to come back in here and detail this. Now this was doing it with the real leather from the coat. And so it did not bleed through. So let me show you that. But in the ultra suede, for most parts, this was the sample I made 10 years ago. Didn't bleed through. And these are the ones I'm making now. Didn't bleed through. But that costume one, oh, here it is. Bled through badly. So when you finish your piece, get a piece of plastic or trash plastic and set it over on it and let it dry. And you need to let every coat dry before you go and reapply. Make sure, because all you'll do is move the paint around. You won't get any coverage. So set it over and let it dry. Okay, so let's look at these colors. These are burnt umber, black, white. This is honey brown. This is just the greatest color of paint. It's got yellow in it, and I use it for everything. So I really suggest that. Okay, this I got at Dollar Tree, and it just says deep brown. But I think this is the raw sienna. I'm not sure if that's what that is. Okay, now I saw where it was recommended that you use some kind of textile medium, and I know nothing about art supplies, so because I'm not an artist. But it said to put 1/3 into your paint when I did this 10 years ago. And so you might want to try this. These I just did with craft paints, and they were saying use acrylic tube paints. But, you know, I'm doing craft paints, and it seems like they're turning out good enough for my project. Okay, so here's like another. So see, I've got black, well, the black and brown mix, and I'm just spotting the color. It's called daubing or stippling, daubing. So that's why you need a stiff brush. And let me show you. You're basically, you know, you're outlining your white first so that you can come in and make it interesting. You don't want to cut your pattern exactly either. And then you come and you daub in color. And so I have light colors and on all the way to a brown black. And that's what you're going for. Okay, so on your pattern, you know, cows aren't symmetrical, so you don't want it to look like a, you know, perfectly formed. I mean, when they're out there, you know, cutting the hide and everything, they get little gaps and little, you know, places where it isn't symmetrical. So you want to look at a picture. Just, okay, let's look at, for instance, I just came and looked at this picture, and the arms come out, and then it kind of comes out here and ripples a little bit, and then it comes down and spreads wide at the bottom. So I made it wide at the bottom, and it looks like it has, on all these pictures, it has these two parts where the bottom is, and I made that. And this is, you know, around the neck, and that's the arm, or the front leg, not arm. And so they all pretty much look similar in that way, where it's narrow up here and then very wide here, and then bulge out at the in different, and you can see they're none of them the same bulge. This one's close to looking this similar, but so you just make your pattern. And this one is, let's see, tip to, it's about 6 1/4 inches. And, well, and across the bottom I've got nearly 5 3/4 and 5 inches. So I'm not saying mine's perfect. I'm just going by the picture. So do the same thing. You can Google, and you can take screenshot of my pictures, you know, and do it that way. Okay, so I've cut out these, and I was thinking on this one, I hadn't made a black anything. So this one, I'm looking at painting all the tan white. So it's 3 coats to get it to look like that one, that hide. This one. And I'm not going to do that because that would be real boring. But basically this one, where you normally start with the white and do all the, you know, going around for the white to give you its belly and all the areas that are white. This one was all black that you started with. So that was kind of different. Okay, so here's this one I'm going to work on now. I've already started on it. First thing I did was go around the edges, make it a little interesting, coming in and out and around. And the legs on this picture looked all white, so I went back and did some white on them. And you can use a pencil to kind of mark out things, or you can go in with the black. Is kind of I noticed that it's a lot of times it's along the edges of the spine. Like you can see black along the edges of the spine there, and black in here. And on this one, it looked like it had like darkness around the spine, and definitely darker up in here. So, and down here, I noticed that they get dark up and around the neck, and they get a little darker down around the butt area. So that's how I chose to kind of, I had the paintbrush black from the Jersey Cow, setting that one up. So I just went in and I added black so that it would kind of give me a trace line. And then I went ahead and I put the white in to begin with when I was doing the outline. So this is, you know, it's real rough looking now. And then this is what I was saying, you know, get some old plastic and use that to lay it on when it's drying. You need that to lay it on. So I like to mix up the paint colors with the browns. Now I've got the same thing. I've got my old cutting board that I've got plastic wrapped on it. I'm going to turn it over. And this is what I've been working on. And here's some of these brushes. Make sure they're clean when you're using the white. Oh, this was another one that I did to begin with. I don't know, it doesn't look like any of the others, but it looks kind of interesting. Now, see, this was a pattern that they gave us like when I did this 10 years ago. And see, it was a perfectly formed pattern, and that didn't look right. That doesn't, I mean, there are some, they're coasters. They use them as coasters online. When I looked up cowhides on, they sell them in these small little coaster size. So, on Etsy. Okay, so where are we? We're needing this color, because I'm looking at doing this right here. Okay, so I like to take and mix up my browns to get some black into it. So you might want to try this. It might confuse you. I don't know. Whatever works for you. Because I don't think they're one color, and you wouldn't want them to be one color. But okay, so let's see. See how much black I still have on this paintbrush. Get a little bit more. So I'm just dragging some into it. I'm not going to... You want to deepen, you know, the hides they're not going to be a bright color, so I'm just deepening it by dragging some black into it. And then all I'm doing is, you can daub it on or you can try to paint it on, but don't overwork it. When I overworked it, not thinking about the direction of the nap is what that's called, or the grain, it ended up scuffing it up as the paint dried. So don't overdo. Now, I didn't put any textile medium in this. I forgot. But if you know what textile medium is supposed to do for you, then you'll put it in. Now, see, it's because I outlined that with the black. Do you notice it's kind of darker around the edges? So I've got to kind of feather that. Well, I might have feathered it too much. But it's okay. Doesn't have to be... and actually practice on the lower and the upper, because the middle is where it's more the lighter color is the middle. So I think you'll have a lot of fun with this. I've made several. I'm having fun with them. And you can use them in... I've got a Southwest Adobe, so I'm going to go back and put one in there. And I have a castle, and I think that would call for one. Now, I'm putting the bigger part in, and then I really need to switch brushes and go to the detail brush to bump up to the white. But you see, you get the... So up here in this needs to have a little bit of black in it. I'm getting just a tiny feathering, mixing it. If you make a mistake like I just did, I just kept it. Okay, you might want to... There's a debate about something I read that when I did it 10 years ago, she said don't cut it out, and I see why, you know, because I just had it jump up on me. Have a lot of tissues around, or Kleenex, or whatever you're using. I mean, paper towel, whatever you're using to clean. If you mess it up, you know, and get it on the white, then just daub it off, you know, just kind of blot it off. And so she was saying don't cut it out, but for showing it to you, I needed to cut it out. So, and also to go around the edges to see how far to make the white. You'd have to, if you don't want to cut it out, then you're going to have to draw it out on your fabric, and maybe try it either way. Draw it out so you know where to start and how far in to go with your white on your belly and your legs and all that. So I found it easier to... But I haven't tried not cutting it out. Now, for some reason, there's a little bump there. Okay, so a lot of these, you'll mix colors, like, you know, like on the Jersey cow, there'll be like little spots here, and so you have to go around them with the white. And so you add like little, like in here, see how the black's got just a little tiny bit of white, and so you need to make sure you leave, not that you can't, you know, go several layers. But I did, when I had to go back over this, this one, it had so much paint, and then I tinted this red by using this paintbrush that I'd used the night before. Even though I couldn't see the red in it, the red is down in, and then when you put this in the water a bunch, it, activates that color, and so it turned my white into a pink. And so I've had to paint this so many times, it's stiff. So you kind of want to avoid it being terribly stiff. And it has a ton of paint on it. So you can always go and fix things. Okay, so you see how I'm feathering color in, and I'm putting a little bit into to bring down the brightness of the brown. And you decide, and it's a little darker down here and up here than it is through the middle. So feather the color. I remember Kate, when she was teaching us, she said use the textile medium and don't use water. Then she came back and said, well, you could just dab a little bit of water on your brush. And so I think that's true. I think you can dab a little bit of water on your brush, but not a whole lot of water, because it will go through you don't want to overwork your fabric, because it does have a texture to it. Now, if you don't have this ultra-suede, you could try this on canvas. That might be a place to start too, is try it on canvas. And if you don't want the paint to go through, you might need to put something. I don't know if it'll go through canvas the way it went through that costume fabric. But go to the thrift store and look and see. Those panels, those curtains were popular in the 90s. Seems like. So nobody's using them now, I don't think. I think they'd pretty much be around the thrift stores if you could find a white one. But okay, so see, it starts, looking better and better. At first it's, it's all outline stuff, but then it starts looking better and better. And then when you finish, whoops, I got the wrong color. Can't talk and paint at the same time. Then as you finish this one, like I said, I'd work on two at the same time so that you give yourself time to dry between, coats, because you're so tempted to just keep, going at it, and that doesn't work. It never works to keep going at something, but we do that. Okay, so the next, is go with your detail brush and work your white edges just perfectly, because they're just like that on a hide. They're right up next to each other. Okay, so thank you so much for coming by, and please sign in and hit the like button and leave me a comment and let me know how I'm doing or what you'd like to see for next year, because I'm planning my next year's projects. And so I wanted to do a drawing. I got my Kleenex box here. So let's do a drawing real quick. And someone will get a prize for me reaching my 1,000. Ann Rohrbacher, 6097. Okay, I'm going to send you a gift for me reaching my 1,000 subscribers. And I'm so happy, and I just thank y'all all for, hanging with me on my channel, and I appreciate you. So, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.